while I was out filming the car. It looks like Dan got the heads on. Like you just saw, there's some beautiful heads, really nicely machined. It should flow real well. It's gonna be a nice motor when it's done. Make some good power.
Making a fucking video. What? Whatever. I quit this bitch.
Alright, so we just got the motor put in. You got something to say, Dan? I'm right here. So as you guys may know, you may recognize this car. This car's already been here. Like this thing had our 800 horsepower package before. But now he wanted some upgrades, so he sent it to us. And I think basically it's probably going to be about 1,000 now. We got forced pistons, you got a McLeod clutch in it, a couple other grades. I think he's doing fuel system as well. Alright, E-man it.
What are you doing?
You know the difference between the red and the blue Loctite, CJ?
One of them swords locks it. The other one locks that motherfucker down.
I see.
One's like a 242 grade, and the other one's some other shit. I don't know. I just do what the instructions tell me. But literally, they know I don't know how to read yet.
That's right, you're paying your way through elementary, right?
I graduated the 3rd grade today.
Yeah, so now you got this job to be able to pay for 4th, right?
Yeah. They hired me to sweep the shop, and then I had to show him what to do.
So you guys may recognize this car. We did have this car in before, got our 850 package. And that basically consists of like headers, cam, different pulley on the Supercharger, and other small stuff here and there, but it wasn't enough for the owner. So he sent it back and got the 416, got the motor built by LME. And then he's also getting a Maggie now. So this thing should easily be pushing 1,000 horsepower. So another thing we're doing, along with the upgraded motor, Magnuson blower, is also doing the fuel system. So right now, Dan's just about finishing up installing the fuel pump. After that, it looks like it's just about buttoned up back here anyways. As we've said in previous videos, once you start getting to the 1,000 horsepower range, you pretty much are at the limit of the factory fuel system on these cars. So instead of pushing it to the max all the time, we decided to upgrade it and allow it to run a little bit easier, so it's not pushing it to the limits all the time. her start up and see what she does. Good, Dan.
Yeah, I'm already.
Today we're in another LMR 1000 horsepower package, just completed on this 2015 C7 Z06. It's a really low mileage, 15, a little over, what was that, 2,800 miles on the odometer. This one has the Maggie 2650, the normal American racing headers are complete, heads and cam package. We also went ahead and did the McLeod clutch. We did the RXT, that way it'll, it's good for 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 rural torque. This customer is going to be using the car, that's why we went ahead and upgraded the clutch now, instead of later. The car's being shipped to Pennsylvania, I believe tomorrow, so we're going to try and do a few little pulls on the street like usual, just to make sure everything's nice and sound and happy, and we're ready to go. I believe the car is making over 800 rural horsepower on 93. I forget the numbers. It might even been 850, I think, on 93. It's still running the factory tires in the back, so we're not gonna do nothing crazy in first or second gear. I'm just gonna go a nice little third gear roll and just roll into it. Again, I'm just checking
air, fuel, and timing, and air temps and everything like that, just to make sure it's nice and safe before we ship the car back. No need to do any crazy first or second gear stuff. It's just this thing will spin way too easy with these stock tires on it. Again, 850 real horsepower, and I'm sure it was almost 800 something foot-pounds of torque too. These things are monsters on the street. You put a good like Proxy 888 or Nitto came out with that new NT5, I think it's the R, the drag radial. We haven't tested those yet, but everyone says they're pretty comparable to the Proxy 888s. For those of you that have a 20-inch wheel and want, you know, instead of doing a full-on drag radial that, you know, you can only drive, you know, drag strip, and you can do street and strip with it. But you know, they wear out a lot faster. You don't want to get stuck in the rain with them, stuff like that. The Proxies and the Nitto are more of a everyday kind of a driver, weekend driver. If you get stuck in the rain, obviously they're not the best, but it's better than a full-out drag radial, and it sure does beat having to switch to 18-inch drag radial for when you want to go have fun, and then put the 20s back on it for cruising. At least this setup, you can keep your car with the 20-inch wheels in the back, and you know, still use the horsepower that we're getting out of these things without going crazy and doing something stupid and putting it in a ditch or anything like that. It is another, obviously, 102-degree day here in Houston, so perfect to test these cars. You know, most of these cars get shipped back up north or you know, East Coast, and you know, I'm sure they have summers, but nothing like what they're gonna go through here. So when we can beat on them over and over and over again down here in Houston, you know, we're pretty comfortable sending them back, knowing that a customer like this can take this thing to a road track and go, you know, 30-minute sessions without having anything to worry about. Again, this customer is gonna use the car. You know, it's not just it's a Saturday night cruiser and he's gonna get on every once in a while. You know, he actually does race the car, so that was a big reason why we went with the McLeod RXT clutch in it, just to ensure no problems in the future. I'm curious to see what it feels like in third, if it even hazes the tires, but like I said, I'm just gonna roll into it. I'm not gonna do nothing too crazy. We'll see how it feels, and if it does hook and somewhat feels okay, even traction control on, maybe we'll try a second gear roll. But for now, I'm gonna start off just doing a little third gear, see how she feels. Around 3,000 RPM, so it's not like we're going up to 5,500 and I'm just mashing it. You know, that was 3,000 RPMs and just rolling into it in third gear to ensure it hooked up. I'll pull over now, check out the log, make sure everything looks good. If I need to make any changes, I'll make some changes, and we will do at least one more. Might even try second just to see what it does. Sounds awesome. Sounds really, really good. And these, like I said before, these Magnuson blowers, I love how efficient they are. I mean, it's making this kind of horsepower again, 15 pounds of boost, manifold air temps are usually pretty consistent throughout the pulls. lane, so timing isn't nothing crazy. It's nice and safe for the customer. If he wants to put race gas in it, you know, when he goes and beats on it really hard, he can, just for extra safety. But you know, if it ran race gas all the time, we could throw quite a bit more at it, and this thing would make, you know, 900 plus the tires pretty easy. For those of you that don't know, you know, when you install a new clutch in a car, there is a break-in procedure. You don't want to just stick it in your car and go put 800 or 1,000 rear wheel horsepower to it right away. You'll glaze the discs over really bad, and once you glaze them really bad, there's usually no recover from it. So you do want to put heat cycles on clutches. You install a clutch, you don't just drive it for 500 miles and say it's good, you know, from one city to the next. You need to stop and go traffic and then heat cycle it from hot to cold to get the disc set correctly. You know, obviously we do that with all of our cars even before we dyno them. After that, you know, then you can go out and beat on it and do what you want with it, go race it or so forth. But seating in the clutch properly is definitely something you want to do, especially when you're spending $2,000 on a clutch. Coolant temp still 195. Oil temps all look good. Oil pressure looks great. Let's make another one. The sidewall is really soft, so you know, you going 120, 130 miles an hour, it feels like a boat inside the car. It wants to walk side to side. That's why I like using the Toyo, the 888, or even, like I said, that new Nitto that just came out. It should be pretty similar to the Toyo. It's almost like it is a drag radial, you know, per se, but it's not as bad as like a real drag radial, like a Mickey Thompson or something like that. The sidewall isn't as soft where it wants to move around on you really bad, you know, at high speeds. The car definitely feels a lot more under control at high speeds with a tire. Obviously the stock tire like this is no problem, but even with a Toyo like that, that way you could at least use second gear. You'll be able to see probably from the PDR on that one, second gear, it just spun right away, and that's traction control on, so I just short shifted it really quick into third. But third and fourth gear, this thing pulls really hard. It feels really good. I know the customer's gonna love this thing, and he's probably gonna hurt a lot of feelings, because like I said, I know he uses it. So if he gets a tire on it, it can go from a second gear roll and be at, you know, 4,000 RPMs and just stab it. He's gonna jump out a couple cars on people because of how much torque this thing makes, as long as it hooks up on a good road, of course. But hopefully we got plenty of build video for you guys to watch, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, leave your comments below. Any other things you would like to see on our channel. You know, we're trying to add more and more content weekly, so leave your comments below, guys. I appreciate you watching. Y'all have a good day.